Okay, we are live on YouTube.
House looks nice, Bob.
What?
I said your house looks nice.
Thank you. Well, you can see the blinds.
I can see the fireplace over there.
Oh, I moved. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
I was stretching my phone cord. Got a big elk over it.
I see that.
I like
He's
that.
not real big, but he's mine.
That's it. About time for another Colorado trip here, isn't it?
I'm ready.
Yeah.
We got a lease up north, so
So do you?
Caleb and I do. Yeah.
Cool. Good. How far north? You up by the border, or you're like?
Edina.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. It's 3 hours, and it shows at 3 hours and 19 minutes, but I don't think you can drive it that fast.
Some big deer up there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Kind of excited about being back up there again.
Oh yeah.
What time we got?
I got right at 7.
Okay. We'll call the meeting to order at 7 p.m. and there's a quorum present. Approval and consent of the agenda. Is there any additions or deletions that need to be made?
I have none.
All right, then make a motion, someone to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Public comments, because it's closed down, there is no public. Approval of the minutes.
I'll make the motion that we accept the minutes.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Financial report, please.
Yes, sir. As of July the 31st, 2021, and assets checking accounts in the general fund at BankStar, 433,350.42. In the capital reserve at BankStar, 616,803.01. Health reimbursement, BankStar, $10,066.09. Total assets of $1,060,219.52. In the current liabilities, we have 1,830. And in the total income expense per period, 49,187.70 for income, expenses of 85,572.66.
Okay, make a motion to approve the financial report as read.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Hillsborough Fire Protection District Ordinance 2112 to outline and pay the bills in the check registry. Do I have a motion to pass that ordinance?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. Fire Marshal's report, please.
For the month of July, there were 2 building permits issued, one for a new daycare facility south of town in the old regional eye care building. One for an emergency generator install at the Hillsborough Food Pantry. Fees charged were $267. Fees collected were $466.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Fire Chief's report.
Okay, here we go. It was another busy month again for the month of July. I thought it slowed down a little bit, but I was wrong. We ran 115 calls for service. We had the fair obviously last month and it went pretty smooth, and they actually had some pretty big crowds up there, so did very, very well. We had a house fire on 731 in Hawks Point subdivision. Caused some damage to the residents, but the crews did a great job, made a great stop on that fire, and limited the fire damage to the garage and some moderate smoke damage throughout the rest of the house. So they did very, very good. Jefferson County 911 has made the determination to switch back to Intergraph. So we'll be switching CAD systems again after roughly 1 year or so on this CAD system for Logisys. So at some point in, I believe, probably November, we'll be switching back. What this means is some unfortunate stuff is we're going to have to go back to static run card responses, meaning we won't be able to get closest equipment like we have been doing. We will try to set up our responses so it still is closest equipment using Google Maps and stuff like that, but sometimes it can be difficult. So their eventual goal is to use the response system that's within that CAD system. Our run card program that we're have to go back to was built in 1992, and it is based off of Microsoft Access. So there's people having issues even accessing the old database and getting that application to work on some of the newer Windows and server-based stuff that are out there. But it's just a temporary Band-Aid until we get the new CAD system up and running with that. So any questions on the 911 issue?
No.
Okay. Heavy rescue trailers ready to go. We're in the talks with some neighboring departments on some responses and training issues to go with that. So it is ready to roll though in the event of an emergency. As you all know, as unfortunately we're meeting here remotely today, we've had some major COVID issues over the past week. We currently have 2 employees that are out and positive with COVID at this time. We have tested a multitude of other employees to get them to either come back to work or further isolate them. So far, it's just the 2 cases, and we're hoping that by Monday next week, we've kind of passed that incubation period and everybody else is kind of good to go moving forward. So we've adjusted some policies. We've worked with Valley Ambulance, who's helping provide testing for all of our folks that need it, and things are hopefully looking up now. and moving in the right direction. I think we have the outbreak kind of isolated to that group of employees that are out, and we'll have to see how things go moving forward. So we're doing the best that we can. We're still able to maintain staffing levels and have not had any issues. And I personally like to thank the staff that stepped up to work overtime, the part-timers and volunteers that have helped cover some of these shifts as well too. So I know we all appreciate it, and so does Deputy Chief Darian, who does all the scheduling. So I'm sure that's been driving him absolutely crazy to try to get that done here lately. So thank you for everything with that. Any questions on our COVID issues going on right now?
No.
Okay. We had the management meeting last month, and we have been kicking around back and forth the idea for the tax increase. Obviously, we've talked to some community members as well too. And one of the going themes that we heard was 50 cents was too much to ask for. Many members of the public don't think we need a new firehouse. So me personally, I'm inclined to listen to them on that point of view at this point in time. And I believe that keeping our 6 full-timers outweighs a new firehouse and is the most important thing to do at this time. We need a new firehouse. There's no doubt about it, and there's no way around it. However, we need these 6 people on staff even more moving forward. So I want to throw that out there and get your guys' thought and opinion on that. And if you guys are kind of in agreement moving forward, we'll get a finalized plan together for the board at either the September meeting or October meeting, so we can get rocking and rolling with everything.
I just like to see some numbers. I don't know that I've seen that yet, being new, back onto the board. I'd like to see what the cost is for the guys that we have.
Yep.
And then kind of translate that back to what do we need to ask for to maintain just them?
Yep.
And then what do we need, if we did, so maybe we've already started pushing towards the firehouse with the land purchase. So maybe what do we, what could we save a little bit towards that,
Absolutely.
with the increase or something like that? I want to look at some of the options, I guess, before I say absolutely yes. But
okay, I will get
my feelings though. Most of the time, I want to be supportive, but I kind of just want to know, what the numbers are. I don't have a feel for that yet.
Absolutely. We'll get all those numbers together for you guys, and we'll have them for the next board meeting.
All right.
We'll have that ready to rock and roll and all the options on the table.
Okay.
So still working through the implementation of the Verico system. Again, that's going to take several months. We'll discuss under communications. We have received word that the Volkswagen Trust Grant has been officially opened. So we've got that grant for the tanker out there now. We'll discuss more about that under communications. The fire damage has been repaired on 6523 to the tune of about $2,000. So it was a rather pricey repair when that alternator caught on, not the alternator, excuse me, the primer caught on fire and burned up all the wiring that went with it. But it is fixed and back working and all of that. So it's the unfortunate cost of doing business. So it has definitely not been a very good year for us for maintenance at all. But it is what it is, I guess. So for the month of July, there were 239 hours and 30 minutes of training completed. Everybody's doing great and hitting it hard again. We were going to burn the house this weekend, but we pushed that back due to COVID related issues. We didn't feel it was right to get everybody together with a bunch of people exposed. So didn't want to do it. We are in the early planning stages for a fire prevention week. The community service division coordinator Jacob Nikoloff tested our shared safe house that we've been using with the Soda Rule. They ran a whole bunch of kids through it at a summer school. Jake said it worked out very, very well, and they're moving forward with plans for fire prevention week. So hopefully things are on the move with that. So that's all I got.
Thanks, Brian.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Moving on to communications.
I'd like to defer that to Deputy Chief Darian. He's more in the know than I am. He's been working on that project.
Okay, so the Volkswagen Grant is open and we have already submitted our application. It was not quite as they made it out to be originally. They said that they would cover the 75% the cost of a new fire apparatus, but they did not tell us that they were going to cap that at 120,000. So the application's been made. If we get 120,000 though, it's 120,000 toward a new truck we don't have to pay for. So, I mean, that would be very beneficial. The closing date is not until October with awards around the first of the year. And the awards in Region C, which is what we are going to be done by a lottery. So it's not even on how well the paragraph was written. It's just they're going to draw names out of a hat, basically. So hopefully we'll know around the first of the year.
Thank you, Jason.
Yep, good job, Jason.
Yes, sir. Oh, there was one other thing, and just something for us to, if anyone looks into it that knows more than I do. Apparently, that infrastructure plan did pass through the Senate, and there was talk that there was going to be money for firehouses in there. So something we need to look at.
Who's that through, Jason?
That's the U.S. Senate passed it. It's the $1 trillion infrastructure plan.
So would it come through FEMA or something?
I don't know if they've got that far yet, Bob.
Okay.
They can't even figure out how they're going to spend this last rescue plan. I don't know if any of that money's trickled down yet. So it may be next year before we know how they're going to spend any of that money. I'm not sure. Did that pass the House also, Jason?
Normally it goes to the House first and then the Senate, so I'm assuming it has passed. I'll check into it more tomorrow. I just saw the news blurb on it earlier today, and I saw a comment in Firehouse last week that they said there was going to be money for critical infrastructure such as firehouses and 911 centers. So,
yeah, we'll have to see if we'll be eligible for any of that. We were left out of the last rescue plan, and just about every rescue plan we've been left out of. So, who knows?
Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed.
Anything more under communications? All right, moving on to old business, there is none. Going on to new business, pandemic sick-time policy.
Yeah, I presented you guys an update to the sick time policy. Basically, it puts everything back to normal with sick time uses. They ended the presumptive positive workers' compensation. I don't know what I want to call it. Workers' compensation portion to where a first responder, if they caught COVID, automatically was assumed that they caught it on the job, irregardless if they were down in Florida partying for the past month or not. So we had to adjust the policy to just make it regular sick time again at this point in time. Obviously, if it is a on-the-job exposure, then it still would be potentially eligible for workers' comp, and we'll treat it as such. But the way they change the law now, it has to be traced back to a on-the-job type of an incident to be considered workers' comp. So I wanted to make sure you guys were okay with me doing that before I actually did it.
I reviewed your policy. It looked good to me.
I don't think I change anything. You okay with it, Matt?
I'm fine.
All right, then. Make a motion to approve the sick leave hours and have Brian to implement it.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thermal imaging camera?
Yeah, with everything that went down with the thermal imaging committee, they have presented to me a finding from their recommendations. Unfortunately, the person that led the committee is unable to be with us this evening. So I guess, did you guys read the documentation that was in there and what they are recommending and what they're asking the board to do?
Yes.
And I agree with their assessment 100% on what they're they're saying to do. Obviously, we got the $10,000 grant from the Jefferson Regional Foundation. That's about enough to buy one camera plus a gas detector. However, they're asking to outfit all of our apparatus with gas detectors, not gas detectors, thermal imaging cameras, and purchase 2 gas detectors, which at the end of the day will cost a total of $22,454. So they're asking the board to use an additional $12,454 out of the equipment fund to bring all of our thermal imaging and gas detection equipment up to where it needs to be.
Are you okay with, is there enough money in the budget for that, Brian?
Yeah, I'm comfortable if we pull that out of the equipment and apparatus fund, Bob, which
Is 2 of the gas detectors enough for us to only have 2 of those?
I really think so.
Okay.
They're inexpensive compared to a thermal imaging camera, obviously, but
Right.
for us to need more than 2 at a time, Bob, I don't personally think so. Jason, do you have another idea with that?
No, sir. And we've been making do with 1 for 20 years. So
Okay.
two will be a huge upgrade.
Okay.
You'll have one at house 2, one at house 1.
Yep.
On the trucks going out.
Yes, sir.
Makes
Okay.
sense to me. All right, I make a motion to approve it.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Anything under closed session?
Yes, we need to have a closed session this evening.
All right, then let's suspend the order of business and go to closed session at 7:17.
I don't know who Pink Dessert Purchasing is or somebody else that has joined our meeting. And they have now left. Let me